Hey, everybody. Happy Friday. It's 7 p.m. Friday. It's not, but it's 8:30 with your faves, the Reality Unloaded podcast. We're here to review and recap the Challenge 40, Episode 7, Trust in Your Era review. It's your girl, Keeks.
And I'm Brandon.
And Lina's not here. I know some of y'all been waiting for Lina. Lina's not back yet from vacation. So, what's up, Sophie Dophie? Thank you for joining us again. Happy to see you. Yes, this episode was a good one, better than the last one, for sure. For a fact.
Definitely.
Because last episode I was like, yeah, we said it. Could have been an email. But thank
I
you
mean,
so
there
much
were
for coming.
some parts we could have gone without, but we'll get into it.
For sure. All of the Devin and Michelle parts. I'm
over it.
over. I was like, ew, is this Big Brother?
A real
Is this
thing. Right.
yeah, I'm just not into it, guys. And y'all have known that since the fruition of their relationship. We've kind of commented on it. Happy for them. I don't want to be a hater of love. I'm not a hater of love. I love love. But I don't have to do anything with that love. Like, I can do without it. We're down 22 people, and I don't think we are at the halfway point. We're not. This was
We are
episode
not.
7. That's the crazy part. Like, there's probably like 18 episodes left. No, that's
Very
no,
much so.
or 18 or 16.
I
Whatever.
think so. I'm pretty sure. It's a lot. I know
It's
that.
a lot. Think about that. We're gonna be spending some quality time together, everybody. I like Devin, Michelle not so much. Well, unfortunately, we got a lot of her, Sophie, this episode. But let's get right into it. But before we do, make sure to hit that like button, share, comment, and subscribe. Follow us at Reality Unloaded Pod on Instagram and Reality Unloaded Podcast on TikTok. We will try to cover more shows. We're trying. We're getting the groove with this challenge stuff. So let us perfect this baby first, and then we'll move on to other shows. But thank you guys for joining us on the ride. So without further ado, we're on to this episode called, again, Trust in Your Era. There's a lot of stuff that's been happening going on behind the scenes. So we'll touch on that throughout the show, or maybe a little bit at the end. But we start off the episode. Clearly, Corey and Rachel, they win their eliminations and they come back to the house. They're pumped. They did that. Corey says he doesn't trust Josh right now, and it looks like him and Nehemiah need to strengthen their bond or work more together, because clearly the house doesn't have their backs as much as they would hope so. And clearly Corey, his back has been against the wall, and we know it's gonna continue to be that way, especially with next week's preview. But it's also like, we told you, Corey, right?
We definitely told you when you decided to not listen to Amanda last time. So
right. What's up, Brandon? Thank you so much for joining us. Hope you're having a great Friday. So moving on. So then we see that Banana starts honestly complaining, doing a whole lot of and moaning, because pretty much he's mad that Ryan is more protected than he is in this game. That's really what it comes down to.
I will say, if I was him and all of my people or all of the guys on my team so far have gone in or up, it's only fair. So it's like, are you gonna step in anytime? And we did say this about Ryan a few episodes back. Like, is he gonna show up? So he's not. Yeah. He doesn't sound too crazy.
No, I get that. I definitely get that. But I think ultimately what it comes down to is that Bananas is much more vulnerable than Bananas thought he would be. And he's mad. Sure. Yeah. And like at the end of the day, like Bananas being the great competitor that he is, right? Like, I'm not gonna downplay that. He's not protected as much. And I was not a fan of Amanda anyway. I thought Bananas was part of the Vacation Alliance. He's like a proxy, or adjacent. He's not fully protected. At the end of the day, when it comes to the champs, like Jordan is always going to be more protected by the Vacation Alliance than Bananas. So he's not at the top of anybody's list in that Vacation Alliance if you really think about it. Like Josh was the only idiot to really protect him last episode, but he shouldn't have. But anyway, so let's move on from that. Bananas obviously is going to continue complaining later on, and Ryan and Derek, or well, now at this point, you know, Devin, it's his birthday. He's over here saying like he doesn't think people are going to have a party because they're tired. And then they have like this cute party for Devin, which was one of the better moments of the season, I will say. But let's hear your thoughts on that, Brandon. How did you feel about the party scene?
I thought it was fun. Like I do miss the party environments that the challenge used to show. So it was refreshing to actually see this in this episode because a lot of the episodes so far have been pretty intense. I think my favorite part of the party though was definitely Ryan and Derek dressed in drag, and then giving Devin a lap dance. But that you hear Jordan saying in his confessional, he was like, I need the number to the lap dance services because I will be hiring them again. So I thought it was cute that they were all having a good time.
This is really cute. This is really cute. I'm happy that they're having a good time. I don't know if they were actually drinking or they were, you know, pretending to be drinking stuff, but I was like, hey, whatever it is, like, I hope that they're enjoying it because I'm sure it gets obviously super intense in the house. So it's always nice for them to have fun in that regard. And then, of course, we see Michelle confessionals start to roll in. And now we have insight on their relationship and them possibly making it Facebook official. I was like, girl, you are such a millennial down. Facebook official. We're still doing that? Are we still doing that? Please let me know. Can we please have a conversation about this? In 2024, are we going on Facebook and making it Facebook official?
I think mine still says single because I didn't know people still did that.
Right. And Brandon been locked down for a minute. So
right.
Your relationship started when Facebook was still like a thing to update on.
All right, it didn't start that long ago.
But like still like Instagram was still like the food pictures, you know, like people.
Yeah.
Instagram was still in chronological order when y'all started dating. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. So still enough. So it's like the years have passed. Facebook official in 2024. I'm sorry. I don't know. But anyway, not to harp on that. So she talks about how it's been a little bit tricky for both of them to really do what's best for their teams because they also want to consider each other and protect one another. And then Michelle has concerns that with Naya, because she has this connection with Nehemiah, but also hooking up with Kylan, she's not really sure like who exactly is Naya going to be looking out for or who exactly is her number one. Which I understand that too, like trying to gauge that. But I mean, listen, I give Michelle a lot of flack, but Michelle is a very smart girl. Like she looks at the game at all sides, and I do appreciate how she obviously perceives the house, peeps everything.
People also forget that she won Survivor, so
well,
you gotta remember that. Even if there was like drama with that and whatever, she still got the money at the end of the day. So
right. She won fair and square. I'm gonna give her that. You know, I didn't watch Survivor, so y'all can fight in the comments if it was fair or not. All right, so we go into I do want to make a comment because during this first half of the episode, I think really at the start, we hear Jordan make a comment say that he knows for a fact that Era 2 are his biggest competition. So it's just interesting that he has the opportunity, which I get, like, obviously the decision making on Naya's behalf, but I just wanted to point that out. We did hear Jordan say that. So it's funny how everything turns out. But let's get into the daily challenge called Leap of Faith. Brandon, take it away.
Yep, the daily challenge is called Leap of Faith. So the rules for this challenge are that 4 players from each team are randomly selected to jump off a helipad of a very, 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 very high tower to grab one of 4 hanging flags. After a player jumps, their team members have to pull them back up, and then each flag is also worth a deduction if they miss or drop a flag. There's also a bonus flag that they can attempt to retrieve, which I think takes off about like 3 minutes of their time. And if they grab 2 flags, then the team gets a 3-minute penalty. And then after all the flags are collected, the players who did not jump have to solve a tangram puzzle. And then the fastest team to get this all done obviously wins. So how'd you feel about this specific daily challenge? Because I know you weren't a fan of a few of the last ones.
Yeah, I like this one. I think it was much more daring. There were a lot of components to it. I did appreciate that. I really hated that for Era 1, they were down this bad. And they all had to jump in comparison to the others. And then obviously we will talk about it briefly, but like Tina had to do the puzzle by herself. So yeah, like that was it was fun. I do agree with that. I do love the fact that like they have to do something daring, and I was very proud of Darrell. I want to give a shout out to Darrell for facing his fears.
Proud.
Hey Bloody Money, thank you so much for joining us. Happy Friday. But yes, I think it was the more exciting one that we've had in a minute. How about you? How did you feel about it?
Yeah, I would agree, especially because there were so many people like Darrell and like Naya who were terrified. And then you saw them conquer their fears. So it was a nice challenge to actually watch compared to the other ones that we've seen so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. But let's just remind the folks about the targets, who they were.
Yep. So the Era 1 targets are Tina and Darrell. The Era 2 targets are Nehemiah and Aviv. The Era 3 targets are Naya and Jordan. And then the Era 4 targets are Kylan and Michelle.
Okay. And then we find out that TJ's going to pick the jumpers for each era at random. Again, Era 1 automatically all have to do it because there's only 4 people left. And then we have for Era 2, actually we could go into how each of them did instead of one by one. So like obviously Era 1, Tina messes up big time and she grabs 2 flags, which obviously puts more pressure on Darrell, who's scared shitless, shaking in his boots, baby. And he's like, damn, like, okay, I'm gonna have to get 2 flags. I'm gonna have to get a bonus flag. But Darrell, he came through. Proud of you, Darrell. Honestly, I really thought you were about to quit. I'm not gonna lie. I was going in like Darrell's quitting.
I thought so. I thought he was going. If it was me, I would have. But I know he. I'm not jumping off that tower. Absolutely,
I'm jumping. I'm not that afraid of heights, y'all. Like I get antsy, but I'm still gonna do it.
I don't even like flying in an airplane, so no.
Okay, all right. So this is not the challenge for you.
Absolutely. Not.
And then everyone else gets their flags with Derek K. Like obviously, you could tell that he is injured off of his leg. But now Tina has to solve the puzzle by herself, and she takes a little bit long because she doesn't realize she has a missing piece. I was like, sis.
She messed.
Wow.
I feel bad though because again, they're the only 4, so they have to like keep going and going and going, whereas the other teams had multiple people to go along the way. So they were kind of at a disadvantage because if it was me, I would still be frazzled from jumping that high. So I get it.
Right. Yeah, so it was rough out there for Era 1, but they got it done. Era 2, it's Bananas, Nehemiah, Laurel, and Aviv that get chosen. And I love how some of these people were like, please choose me. So
Laurel.
right, Laurel. So Bananas, Laurel, Nehemiah, they do a great job. Obviously, they were still a little bit nervous about it because, hello, it's jumping off of a building. But they were also nervous for Aviv because Aviv is short, and she ends up explaining, like, listen, like, I have grit, I'm powerful, I'm strength, like, I have the strength, but this is not my height friendly. This is not
Right.
short
She was
people
like, I'm
friendly.
5 feet.
Right, she's snack size. So it's like, come on. How's she gonna do that? And it was funny because like Cara makes a comment too about like her only being able to reach the not being able to reach the top shelf, but she's capable of doing everything else. So Aviv ends up getting the flag as well. So which is great. She's good. Then Derek and Cara kill the puzzle, but as we see, and Bananas comments on, Ryan did not help them solve that puzzle. So I get what you're saying.
I mean, especially with Tangram puzzles, if it was me and I was like the puzzle person, I'm stepping back, or I'm not stepping back. I'm going to be the one doing the puzzle because I don't want other people moving my pieces. And we've seen this time and time again, especially during finals when groups are just moving pieces and they get pissed at each other. So I get why he kind of stepped back and let Derek and Cara do all the work because you can't have too many people on it.
Right. I would quit. I'm scared of heights. You're right there with Brandon. Imagine how different the season would have looked if they didn't get the rid of. Listen, we could talk about the
Redemption House.
Redemption House that we deserve. I'm not afraid of heights, but as someone who has done zip lining multiple times, it's hard to willingly jump off things. Felt Lauren, and thank you so much for coming through for the live. I'm pretty sure you are new in the chat, so thank you so much for coming through and happy Friday. CT would have killed this puzzle, absolutely, but I think everybody did a fairly good job doing the puzzle. To be quite honest, like the people that got chosen, it was Tina that fumbled a little bit of time because she didn't realize she was missing a piece. But I do believe that she was capable of doing it right away. Like she's always been good at that.
I mean, other than Ryan and Olivia, so
right, Ryan, Olivia, Olivia. What did Olivia do the entire episode?
She sunbathed. That's like, what she did.
Said okay.
She said it herself. Confused.
Right. So then, we get to era 3, and then it's Devin, Jordan, Tori, and Naya. Devin ends up grabbing a bonus flag off rip. Naya's super terrified of heights. It says it herself, but she again did great. She gets it done. And then everyone else gets their flag, but now it's up to Corey and Avery to solve the puzzle, which the team was nervous about. But it looks like Corey, them puzzle making duties that you've been doing, the puzzles you've been doing with your daughters, they're working out in your favor, babes, because you did a great job. And you too. Good for you. So I was like, okay, this is good. Era 3 might have gotten it because it seems like they were the ones who had like the smoothest process of it all, right?
Transitions and process, yeah. I honestly, it was for me between era 2 and 3. I knew it was one of them.
She didn't do a damn thing. Not a damn thing at all. KZ, once again, is there. Right. And we're going to talk about Casey's era right now. So you have Josh, Jenny, and Casey and Theo that get chosen to do the jump. And Josh jumps first. And the jumper, like, why do the rest of his team members have such a hard time pulling them up? And granted, I do also want to comment, like, we did go out of order. We're just going by the era order. But on the challenge, that era was the first to go. So I feel like maybe if they would have saw another era go before them, they would have performed better. But regardless, like they were struggling to bring Josh up. And mind you, it's a strong group. Jenny, Casey, and Theo, they can't pull up Josh.
Well, Derek did make a comment though, and he says era 4 is basically all meatheads, but they're gassing out. Yeah. So I kind of agree because they tend to do that a lot. How they got Theo up there,
yeah.
I mean, I will say Theo is more. Never mind.
Okay. I like Derek in the confessional. He made fun of both eras 3 and 4. Absolutely. Someone said they think they adjusted something after Josh. Okay. All right. So that makes sense. I mean, I would hope so. Like, look at how long it took them to pull up Josh. Like, I knew off
Very.
rip era 4 was gonna be dead last because they spent so much time on Josh. It was ridiculous. Um, so then obviously Derek says the me heads thing that they're gassing out, they were. Theo ends up grabbing the bonus flag, which is good because it ends up like helping them, but not enough. And then Kylan and Michelle, they kill the puzzle, obviously.
Obviously.
Minus
Also,
Olivia.
did you peep when Michelle literally was like stressing during the challenge?
I was like,
She was like, "It's my neck on the line, guys. Let's go."
he's almost there, and Casey's like, how do you even know?
I would have dropped him on purpose.
Literally, like, shut up. You're actually going in. I don't even care. You're going in. But whatever. I just really, I wouldn't have cared. I would have been like, listen, like, Michelle, you're going in.
Like,
I
shut
don't
up.
know. Shut up. Just for that. Just for making them comments like you're the only one. Like, we want to win. You know, obviously, like, believe in your team. You don't need to say that. Like, but whatever. I guess that's her
Right.
way of motivating people. I would have definitely been annoyed. And yes, Derek did
Very.
say that it seems like Eric 3 does this every single day because they were just working so well together. Um, so then Era 4 ends up losing the daily, which means Michelle and Kylan will automatically be going in since they were the targets chosen last episode. And then Era 3 ends up beating Era 2 by a minute, less than a minute, which means Jordan and Naya are safe. And I'm so happy for Naya.
I'm happy for Naya, but I'm kind of annoyed because I really did want Era 2 to win. I thought they were going to win, and it's getting to a point where I'm getting tired of Era 3 winning. So hopefully something switches up next episode because it needs to something needs to happen.
Yeah, something needs to happen. Something needs to change. Michelle
There's
having
too many
another
people on
Michelle
that
down.
team.
Yeah, they have to weaken that team somehow. But as we all know, it kind of
Without
plays
Corey's
safe.
expense, though.
Yeah, because we already lost two people that we actually like this episode. We've lost, honestly, so many people that we like. And again, we really wish there was a redemption house. Like, this season deserved that. I don't understand why they didn't give us that, but hey. All right, so we come back to the house. Darrell says he isn't going to say anything bad about Aviv and Nehemiah in the deliberation because he's cool with both of them. He has a good relationship with both of them. Corey says he has to save Nehemiah at all times, and we've already seen this relationship or partnership flourish with them. Like, clearly they're defending one another. They're doing their best to protect each other. So I wasn't surprised by that. And then anything you want to talk about, like, regarding Darrell, Nehemiah, Corey?
No, I mean, with Darrell, I wasn't surprised because it's against Aviv and Nehemiah, and of course he's cool with Nehemiah, but I know with Aviv, that was his fresh meat partner. So like, I would be him in this instance. Like, I'm not gonna trash you guys. I'm just gonna speak about why I shouldn't go in.
Yes. And then we get a confessional. And again, I give Michelle flack all the time. But we hear about Michelle explaining that her brother had a traumatic brain injury. And obviously her being on this season and them watching her on the challenge has brought her family closer, which I thought was a really touching moment. I didn't know anything about that regarding Michelle. I think this was like the first time we ever really got some personal stuff from her.
I think she touched on it like briefly before, but she never went into the story.
Yeah, I don't remember it being talked about in depth. So I was like, okay, this is nice. We understand her why and reasoning behind the reason why she wants to actually win. And then we see Corey talks to Jordan and Devin about the target rotation because it's supposed to be Devin next, but clearly Devin is not trying to push that. He's over here like, oh well, I'm not going to say nothing because Michelle at the end of the day is not going to say My name,
My
period.
name. And this pissed me off. Because again, you have a team who's supposed to be rotating, right? And I think even Jordan says, like, you know, this is how you get through every episode. We're just supposed to go through the rotation in his confessional. But he didn't really say it when they were all sitting there, which annoyed me because, again, it feels like no one has Corey's back. And it's just annoying because why does Devin get to get away with not being nominated when Corey was just nominated the last episode and essentially won you guys the challenge? So I don't know. It was just very irritating to me.
I was annoyed by that too, and I do agree with Corey what he said. Like, well, that's your girl, right? You're talking to her. Like, explain to her that you need to do what's right for your team and rotate. And you even have Jordan like going off in the confessional, like, oh, you know, we did that for a reason because at the end of the day, everybody has to go in. But I don't blame Corey at all for being upset about it. Like, it makes total sense. Devin.
Yeah, and if Devin really wanted to, he would have told Michelle, don't do that because that's going to mess up my game. And she would have listened. But that's all he had to do. He didn't want to go down. He's scared.
And he knew at the end of the day that Corey doesn't have numbers on his side. So at the end of the day, like, what is Corey going to do really if he gets chosen as the target? He's just going to have to deal with it, which is unfortunate. And again, like, this is why I'm really mad at that fact that, like, the Vacation Alliance is going unscathed through the season.
Is running it, which is so annoying. Like,
it's so crazy.
It's so easy to do. Just get them out.
Like, y'all have every opportunity. Make that man a target. And like, we're gonna talk about Miss IKEA couch, whatever.
Ooh, that one too. Later on, pissed me off.
What is going on? Bob's Furniture over there. Are you kidding me? Why is she not the anyway? Let me not get ahead of myself because
we'll get into
I was annoyed about that. So then we see them like we see Rachel telling Naya this is at the new bar, right? Because they went to the new bar or something like that.
Yeah, or it was a different section or something.
I can't remember exactly, but Rachel tells Naya that it would mean a lot if Tina and Darrell could at least get a break. And that she obviously doesn't want to take the win from Naya. She wants her to like obviously celebrate that. But considering era 2 and era 3 are the most competition, are the most like they're each other's competition, why not try to get one of them out of there and throw in era 2? Which makes sense. I totally understand why Rachel is honestly even bothering to angle it this way. She's trying to fight. I don't blame her for trying. It doesn't seem like anyone else in her era is really trying to talk strategy like that aside from her and Tina, really. Like, and we'll see a little bit about that later on. And I do want to comment on something later on as well, because Brad talked about this on Zach Nichols' podcast, that he feels like he understands now why era 1 was struggling, aside from the fact that they're much older. But yeah, so I don't blame that Rachel for trying, but not Nia. Naya basically says like, I mean, it's kind of like we should just finish y'all off. It kind of feels like that's the best bet. And I also understand that strategy as well. And I also understand why Naya herself is protecting Nehemiah. I get it. So we get to the deliberation. Yeah.
Before we get into the deliberation, I wish the format of the show was kind of like, if there are, or when there are two teams that are possibly going to go down, that the guy who's the winner could pick whatever guy he wanted or girl he wanted, and then the girl could pick whatever guy she wanted. Because I feel like that would have made this much easier for them. And then Darrell wouldn't have gone down.
Yeah, I agree. I want to see what happens next to Lynn. Is Jordan gonna let Devin duck it, which means he's next? Let's see. Yeah, because once it impacts Jordan, all hell breaks loose. But Yeah, so we move on to the deliberation. Overall, it was pretty calm. Darrell, his angle is just to say, can we please get a break? You know, everyone is hurting. And like, okay, I love the authenticity that Darrell brings and obviously Era One brings, but I'm sorry, you got to evolve with the game. According to what Brad has been saying, like everyone did not have a plan. Like they weren't strategizing. These people were going to sleep at 9 p.m. while everybody else was gaming. And I feel like, come on, you can't just go in there and say, can we just get a break? You got to offer something.
Yeah. I
Like,
mean, but again, they were hurting, and I get what he was saying. Like,
me too.
why?
It
If they're
just felt like there was
literally
no fight in that.
dwindling down, yeah, he could have done better. But if they're dwindling down, why go for this team when you have this stack team over here that can potentially be a threat for us later on?
Right.
It just
Exactly.
wasn't the smartest move to me, in my opinion.
And then Tina obviously explains that she's gonna fight, like she wants to be there because this means something much more for her. It's special for her being in Vietnam because she's half Vietnamese and her mother escaped from the war. So obviously her spending more time there has allowed her to get closer to her culture and just make that connection, you know, like full circle. So I do understand that, and you could see that in Tina this entire season that there's a fight in her that she really wants to be there.
Yeah.
Obviously, like her beating Emily put a fire under her
Yeah.
ass as well. But I do think that Tina has been playing a fair game so far this season.
She has. She definitely has. And it was nice to see that
Mhm.
story for her as well.
Yeah,
So
it was, and I don't know if like was I don't know if like at the end of the deliberation were they getting like teary eyed or were they sweating? I was a little confused. I was like, are they
So
hot?
I think Jordan had said, this is hard for us because we love you guys and yada yada yada. And I think they did start tearing up. I don't know why Jordan was crying, to be honest, but I would understand if Nia was crying. But Jordan, I don't really get it. But I think
I don't
they were
know.
tearing up.
We definitely missed some sort of context there. Like I was just like, wait, did we
Yeah.
miss like an important like moment or somebody saying something very touching aside from Tina, or maybe I don't know. Tina probably gets the call for season 41. Maybe, who knows?
Hopefully she's entertainment.
Right,
So
right. And then you have Kylan says he has no preference because they're both champions and the man is hungry. He's trying to win. He's trying to become a challenge champ. And you can see it in Kylan too. And clearly Kylan has been working. I said this last pod, I believe, but Kylan, he is holding up Era 4. He's the one making the connections.
Yup.
Without Kylan, I don't know how they're gonna make it through, to be quite honest. Like that's a huge loss.
They will be relying on Era 3 for everything. Because you got Casey and Josh who know most of Era 3. So they haven't really gone outside of that.
And then obviously, like you have Aviv. She says, obviously, those who do good by me, I'm gonna do good by them. Obviously, she has a close relationship with Darrell, so she herself, she's not really like campaigning, but she's prepared to go in. And I would say the same thing for Nehemiah, right? But yeah, that was
pretty
it.
much.
Again, pretty calm. Again, I'm not sure if there was some crying going on or if they were just sweating. But at the end of that deliberation, you see like Jordan get a little teary eyed, and he also said like something like I will always speak out for y'all or
Something like
protect
that.
something
Yeah.
like that. And I'm
Like
like, we
he
missed
cares for
something.
them deeply or something. Like he loves them
Yeah.
all. Yeah.
So I was
This is
like,
a weird
okay.
kumbaya.
Yes. And then Tina had a speech that made them emotional, edit out. Okay. I was wondering what it was because I was a little confused. And then do you guys notice that Tina versus Bananas fight got edited out? Oh, trust.
Of
We noticed.
course.
Of course we noticed. Come on, we on production's ass. Like, put it in the drop the deleted scene production. I'm tired of you. Sorry, no violence, but I'm tired of you. You dropped that whack ass scene on Instagram of Olivia and Derek eavesdropping on Theo's phone call.
For what?
For what? For what?
I think
That didn't offer anything.
Theo even commented. He was like, "I thought we were gonna get the full Cara Maria speech because that was funnier."
False. Kylan has no connection. JC and Casey do. Michelle and Olivia follow suit. No, but Kylan has been making deals. He has been making deals.
And he's close with Laurel, as we've seen.
Yup, he is close with Laurel, apparently. Things are happening behind the scene that we're not exactly privy to, but that we're getting after. But I get what you're saying. Like, at the end of the day, Josh and Casey have the most protection out of Era 4. Clearly. There's like an onion around them. It is ridiculous. Again, why is Vacation Alliance getting protected like this? If you saw the preview next week, they brought a daily that we haven't seen since season 20. And the funny part, Derek was a part of that. Okay. Yeah, we don't know why they edited it out either. I'm guessing it just didn't align with the storyline, but it is what it is. So, moving on from deliberation, we get to the last half of the episode. Brandon, you want to take that away?
Yep. So basically, with the last half of the episode, Jordan and Naya let Tina know, like, hey, because Nehemiah is like a brother to Naya, she's basically gonna vote them in. And it was so funny because we see Tina laying down. She's like, "What? You guys are saving me? What?"
Rachel mad happy. Rachel mad
literally,
happy.
Literally, her attitude switches. she was like, "Oh,
get off me!"
Yeah.
I said, "Yeah." I would have said the same thing. Get off me. We're not doing this.
But it was just funny because I knew we were gonna get some entertainment after that, and she was gonna let them have it. And then you also just see Jordan kind of getting annoyed because she says that he has a lot of influence in the house, and especially a lot of influence over Naya. So you can see him getting kind of like just riled up by her, but kind of like settling down in a sense.
I think he understood her frustrations, but yeah, he was getting annoyed because she was wilding out, and rightfully so. I don't care. I don't blame
I would have too.
I don't blame Tina for being pissed, especially the way that, like, obviously there's so many connections, but then I do understand Naya, right? Naya, her bond with Nehemiah outside of this game, they are like brother and sister. They're very close. Why would she try to get one of her best allies in the game out? Why would she risk that?
Right.
Especially when she even said it, I think, on Twitter, that she was starting to realize that Jordan did not have her as high as she had him. So she needed to protect herself as best as possible. Like, clearly, Jordan and Tori, they're always going to be each other's number ones. And then you have him also protecting Laurel. So where does that put Naya?
Very
at
low.
least number 3 or number 4. So
I mean, she's high for now,
right?
But once it starts dwindling down, it's not going to be like that anymore.
She's low in the pecking order for sure. So I understand why she's like, I can't do that. And I want to say, like, there was a very important comment made that by Ryan to Rachel, because, you know, Rachel's like, listen, like, I don't think they're playing with strategy. Like, they need to put their heads in the game. Like, they know Era 2 is their best competition out here. Why wouldn't you try to weaken that? And Ryan tells her, listen, Nehemiah is to Naya what I am to you. Right. So, like, it makes sense. You wouldn't put me in. So why are we expecting that out of Naya?
Exactly. Which makes sense.
Makes total sense. Like, I understood. But yes, I hate that it came at the expense of Tina and Darrell. And Darrell, he's over here like, listen, I'm not going to be pissed off about it. He said, I'm about to take a nap. Puts on his sleeping mask on. I said, yo, I can't. But that's why we like everyone.
I'm going to clear my head. I'm going to get ready. I don't care. I don't want to hear nothing. Goodbye.
Right. And these are reasons why we like Era 1 too, because they just take it with a grain of salt. Maybe Tina took it with a lot of salt. Okay. as salty as like a saltine cracker for real. Like it's just too much. Like she was mad, and again, we don't blame her. And
I mean,
then
I feel like she kind of knew in a way, though. Like it was most
mm-hmm,
likely gonna be them, unless they were gonna
yeah,
go the angle of let's weaken the stronger team.
mm-hmm,
At the end of the day, because the pairs are tied together,
mm-hmm,
she knew Naya was closer to Nehemiah. So
mm-hmm.
I think she was just frustrated in a
Of
sense.
course, yeah, real. She was going through her emotions in real time, and that's why I also appreciate Tina, because Tina's not about to fake the funk. Like, no, I'm pissed,
Yeah.
and y'all are about to feel my wrath. So there's that. Um, and then we see Tori talking to Michelle, and I believe I forgot who else, but pretty much
It was
says
like a
that like this.
little snippet, I think, and then she was like, "This is your cool comic collected era," and she
Mhm.
was like, "So don't have a Michelle down." And I thought that was hilarious.
That was funny. That was funny. I'll give you that, Tori.
Lena
That
would
was
love
good.
that.
Yeah, the Michelle down. She definitely would. You know, Lina. Listen, Lena is
She's the biggest Michelle fan
the
ever,
biggest Michelle fan in the world, guys.
just like you love Tori.
Literally, just like that. Perfect example. But I will give Tori her props for saying that, don't have a Michelle down. I thought that was really funny. Then Bananas has a conversation with Laurel and Nehemiah and says that the other guys on their team have no intention of self-nominating. So it's gonna be between Nehemiah and him every time. Ryan overhears this conversation and starts going in. They start arguing, and I'm like, yeah, exactly. Check him. Because yes, I get it. I get it. Banana Man, I get it. You're tired. Ryan should be
He's
stepping in.
rotten.
But you're mad because this time around, you don't have the protection that you're used to having in this house. You're not as
Mhm.
protected as Ryan and Derek. And Derek actually does hold more of his weight, or actually holds his weight more than Ryan, right? But don't
First,
be
he
mad.
shouldn't even be putting them together. Derek is
Right.
his own
His own
person. Ryan's his
person.
own person. Don't lump them together at
Literally.
all. Because he was even giving Derek props in the challenge where he was saying he's very like cool, calm, collected also, and got the puzzle done very fast. So I was very confused as to why he was bunching them up together in that situation.
But I love the fact that Derek says it like Laurel and Bananas are just mad because they don't have the numbers like they're used to. And if it was the other way around, they wouldn't have cared. And they might not be able to lift 250 pounds, but they sure know how to kiki with the girls and keep their asses safe. Exactly. That's
He ate with
why Banana Man, Banana Man, you gotta split. You gotta go. You're gonna go into limit. You're gonna be the target every time, and you should be the target every time because you're a 7-time champion. Why wouldn't anybody
right.
make you a target? Like, let's be for real. You have to be the target every time.
Literally what Devin was saying, I think last episode or the episode before that. Yeah, it's the truth.
It's the truth. But anyway, guys, so now we're moving on to the elimination. Oh, but before we go, sorry, I want to see what Dreadful Ruby said. Hey, Dreadful Ruby, thanks for joining us. I blame her a bit. It's clear Nehemiah and Naya are close. Her talking about how Naya calls her Auntie Tina, like their friendship should outweigh her friendship with Nehemiah was silly. Exactly. That I do understand. And we will talk about it a little bit after we finish recapping the episode. But Tina and Naya, unfortunately, our faves were going back and forth on Twitter. And I just hate that because I feel like Tina should have an understand. She should know that
Right.
Naya wouldn't have done that for her if circumstances were different and if it wasn't putting Nehemiah on the line. I think she knows that she wouldn't have put
But
them
y'all
in there.
also gotta realize they do be doing this though, just to get callbacks. So let's
I
just
know.
remember
That
sometimes it's not
too.
all real. Like we gotta
Right, right,
remember.
right. You're right. You're right. All right, so we're getting into the elimination. It's called Boxster Phobia. How did you feel about this elimination?
I actually liked it. I wasn't mad at it. I'd like the eliminations where they have to do math because it makes me feel smart. So I do think it was more tailored though to Era 4.
Of course.
Yes, than it was to Era 1. But basically, going into it, the rules for Boxterphobia were that each player will basically have to move through a box with several doors and poles, and they must memorize the numbers on each door, which have a sequence of an equation. And then once they reach the other side, they have to solve the sum of the equation to unlock the button in their box. And then the first player to press their button obviously wins. Yeah, I thought it was a good elimination. I kind of wish it was physical in a way, because I feel like, but
Kylan said that Era 1 and Era 2 were saying they didn't want to do physical eliminations like that.
I feel like this would have been their one though.
Yeah, but continue. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, but yeah, I feel like if they would have had a physical elimination, Tina would have definitely won. And I feel like it would have been pretty close with Kylan and Darrell if Darrell's back wasn't hurt. So I don't know.
I mean, he said at this point that his back was better, but yeah, I get you. I mean, I did feel like it was an equalizer. It was a good elimination. I do think that it was a better elimination. I do like the fact that they had to do the math equation. Would I have done well on this? Possibly not. I did. I was like laughing at actually we'll get into it. So we get to Tina versus Michelle, right? They both seem like they're getting through fairly well, like they're pretty equal at this point, but they are clearly struggling with the numbers and math. And Tina actually makes it through the box first before Michelle. So I'm over here like, oh crap, like Tina might win. And I was rooting for Tina. I wanted Tina to win. I'm sorry. Like, we're gonna see
Michelle that got out first, and then Tina caught up because Michelle had to go back and look at her numbers, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but
Tina came out first, but then Michelle caught up, even with looking at her numbers, at her numbers.
Okay.
But Tina did come out first. And again, like, I just feel like I'm okay. I would have wanted Tina to stay first and foremost. Like, obviously, she's a great narrator. She's just a great person to have in the challenge house. She's fiery. She's gonna say whatever the hell is on her mind. We're gonna see Michelle next season. We're gonna see her for several seasons.
Yeah,
we have not gotten a break from Michelle, essentially. So I do wish like it was a different outcome, but you know, we see Michelle, she ends up being the victor, and I was like, damn.
I mean, I'm not mad at it. To be honest, I'm not mad at it. Michelle, time and time again, has proven why she should be there. She's gone against multiple champs at this point, and she's put up a fight every time. So she deserves to be on the show.
I'd like to know how ahead of these challenges and change-ups are planned. Do they put them in place to help stir the outcome, or do they pre-plan and let the game play out the way it does? I'm curious too. I was thinking about it a little bit earlier today. I was like, would they change these things like in such short amount of time? Are they really doing that? I think they are capable of doing that, but I feel like this one is so meticulous. Like, they planned it in advance, and whoever it was.
Yeah,
I don't know, but I was thinking about it because I was thinking of like Drag Race. For those that watch Drag Race, if you know that, like, they give them prompts for the runways, and then they kind of change the verbiage a little bit, and they obviously like pick when they want to do the runways. They don't have like a set order of the runways.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious if it's something like that. I really don't know. I would assume so. And then they kind of like determine it. I guess the day before. I don't know. I don't have any
Probably.
insight. If anybody has insight on
Production
that.
production lets who they want to stay. So they will make it in the favor of that person.
Right. I agree with that too. Yes, wanted Tina to win, so I don't want to hear about the showmance. Absolutely. I was over it. I love them both. Okay, Dreadful Ruby. I'm glad you
I like Michelle, but I like her
I like
without Devin.
Yeah.
I don't like her with Devin.
Mm-hmm. I don't know about love her, but I can tolerate her. On the show. I'm sure she's a lovely person off, you know. Um, but anyway, so obviously Michelle ends up winning. Devin is happy. He got his girl back. Cool. Michelle wins. Takes out Tina. Sad day for everyone. Then we get to Darrell versus Kylan. And Derek says that he's a little worried for Darrell since he's going up against Kylan, who is nicknamed the calculator by the challengers in the house. And I was like, well, damn. It's over for Darrell then, I guess.
That's what I thought too, because I know Kylan's like very smart, especially with like numbers. So again, when I saw this, I was like, oh, production.
Yeah. Or maybe like it was production trying to save Darrell and Tina in a sense. Like we're not gonna do something physical. I don't know. I'm just playing. I shouldn't play devil's advocate. The devil don't need advocating. But anyway, it's just like, yeah, I kind of had a feeling that Darrell was gonna go anyways. And Darrell gets out of the box first, which surprises everyone. And he literally has the answer, but tries to do it in the sand so he knows he did it right.
He had it. All you had to do was times it by 2, which you really didn't have to times it by 2. You could have just did the number plus the number, and that would have been the easier way to solve it. And he goes in the stand and tries to multiply, which is going to take longer. And I'm like, oh my God. And we see Kylan literally go to his box, doesn't even need to, he sees the times 2, does it in his head, hits the buzzer. And everyone's like so shook because he literally came out of nowhere.
Mind you, Darrell is over here spending seconds, minute, whatever it was, trying to smooth the sand. Like he's on the beach, sipping pina coladas, playing in, like just chilling. I said, what?
Well, now he's about to be. So
yeah, well, sadly. I was just like, Darrell, come on, you had it. And now Kylan can say he's beat you twice. 2 seasons back to back, baby. You got beaten by the same person. Darrell, I hate it had to be you. I really do. And then we get to the target picking. So obviously, because there's literally only 2 people left, we have Derek and Rachel as the targets for Era 1. Era 2 targets are Cara Maria, because Kylan is apparently closer to Laurel, and Derek because Michelle's least closest to him. I said, okay, whatever. And what's interesting is that Cara Maria was like, she points this out earlier, and she said, like, you know, Kylan's been having all these conversations, but I'm not having these talks with Kylan. So I'm like, girl, you left out. Clearly, he's not trying to build any sort of connection or deal or alliance with you.
Laurel got in his head.
Right. So then Era 3 targets are Avery because she volunteers, which is good, Avery. Get them on your side. Even though, like, I don't like the volunteering thing. I feel like I would never volunteer myself into elimination. But hey, y'all want to take turns? Good for y'all. And then Corey gets chosen because Devin's not saying shit. He's just standing there looking like he was the one in the sand.
I would have made a theme, and I would have said this was supposed to be a rotation. Devin is supposed to go up. You should pick him. I don't care if he's your boyfriend. This is how the team set will operate. I would have said it right then and there. And then if Michelle would have chosen Corey, then she would have also looked bad.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I would have done.
And I would literally, like, in my head, I would literally say, like, okay, well, Michelle, when I can put you back in as a target, you're going to be the target then. You can be the target next. And she can be, right? By the end of next episode, she could be the target again.
Yeah.
So, easy.
That's what
easy
happened to Corey.
Mm-hmm. So. And I understand Corey's frustrations. Again, like, Devin, come on. Like, you could have stepped up. And then going to Era 4, Jenny volunteers. Or no, Jenny gets chosen. No,
she didn't.
She doesn't volunteer. She gets chosen again over Casey.
Because there's no volunteers. No one's raising their hands. And Kylan's literally like, anyone? Like, no one is raising their hand. I'm looking at Casey and Olivia, right? Are y'all gonna do something? Olivia, you didn't do anything on the challenge. That's the least you could have done. Volunteer.
I literally would have said, Olivia, considering you didn't do anything since Casey was gonna stay mute and everybody's protecting her for whatever reason.
Well,
I would have said, literally, Olivia, you're doing it. You didn't do anything. I think you should go down. But of course, like, oh my God, I'm just so mad that these people are protecting the Vacation Alliance. Like, I'm pissed.
Insulated. I'm pissed. It's so annoying. Like, I can't.
I'm over it.
It's very unfair because Jenny has gone in multiple times. I think this is her third time being a target. And I get it. Like, y'all don't know her. You guys aren't as close to her like that. But that's one of your strongest girls at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. So, like, give her the same respect and praise that y'all give this girl Casey, because I will never understand it.
I don't understand it at all. I'm like, don't y'all know that Jenny beat everybody? Like, she can come back and get y'all.
She won.
She literally won. Everybody against everyone. Oh, the volunteering just feels like a slap in the face to the viewers. It does very little entertainment wise. Yes, I'm over it. Like, oh my God. And then Michelle, like, oh my God, dude, you made it so easy. Oh my God, thanks so much, Theo. I was like, girl, I'm over this nice shit. I'm over it. I want to see y'all argue. Like, where's the fight? Y'all are being too, like, nice. Like,
maybe they tell them they can't say anything.
I guess.
Other than, like, I'll volunteer.
I guess.
Which is annoying.
Yeah. Michelle can be targeted by the end of next week. How Casey and Olivia and even Josh skating by. I don't understand. Casey, to me, like, either she got a real great social game, but she is being protected for reasons I do not understand. I don't understand. Jenny needs to go total madness, beast mode on their asses. Absolutely. She has to do something. If you hate the Vacation Alliance, wait till... Sophie. Don't even get me started because we know. Trust. Keeks Brandon Darrell in an exit interview saying Laurel throwing peanuts at him and even daring him to punch him just to get him DQ. Okay. So anyway,
I did see that.
Era 4 targets end up being Jenny and Theo volunteers, calls himself the one-eyed warrior, whatever. And that's the end of the episode, guys. Let's see how they favor out next episode. But yes, let's talk about this since Bloody Money brought this up. We did want to chat about it a little bit. So yes, we saw that Laurel, that Darrell and Tina, actually, they were on a live. And this got picked up by EW, I believe, or E Entertainment. I can't remember. But they pretty much said, like, he says that there's just some sort of like weird animosity or one-sided beef with Laurel on the bus one of those days. Apparently, like, Laurel's throwing peanuts at his head and pretty much just trying to get him riled up. And he had said, like, yo, like, stop throwing shit at me. At this point, he doesn't even know that it's Laurel. But when he turns around, based on Laurel's reaction, he's like, oh, it was her that was throwing the peanuts at me. And again, like, he says that she's wilding, like she's doing too much. She's pushing 40. Like, she's a very smart woman, but the way that she's been acting, like, it's just
she's acting like behavior. In 8th grade, not even 8th grade, 6th grade. That's her behavior. And he said, like, when he turned around, he did see her face, and he was like, I'm gonna say, I don't care if it's a woman or a man, I will whoop your ass. Like, So stop.
Yeah. He literally was saying
as he should.
Because it's
This is a
like, why are
grown
you
ass
doing
woman.
that?
Why are you throwing peanuts at somebody? Grow up.
Peanuts. Grow up. Yes, it was
I would have threw
Entertainment
the whole
Weekly.
bag on her head. That's what I would have done.
Listen, I would have slapped them peanuts out of your hand. Everything. Girl, like what are we getting at? Why are you even doing all that? I just didn't understand it. I just felt like the behavior was very odd for him to say that about her. I'm like, really, Laurel? Like, this is how you're acting? But yeah, they did share those things, and yes, it was Entertainment Weekly. And I'm not surprised. Like, clearly everybody, a lot of people in the house are off put by Laurel's behavior. I'm not sure if she's reflecting on this. I'm not sure if a break is necessary. I do like that's up to production to determine. I, as a viewer, it's getting a little irritating seeing her act the way that she is, and pretty much
I don't want her back.
I need a break. I'm good on Laurel for a little bit. And
just
I
like
used
all
to
y'all
be
needed
a huge fan.
break from Cara. Yeah, just like we all needed a break from Cara. We need a break from Laurel now because she needs a day off.
Yeah. If they wanted an Era 4 girl instead of Casey, they should have asked Michaela.
Michaela. Oh, Michaela. I don't think Michaela has proven herself to be an Era 4 girl yet.
Yes, or Daisy. Desi, yeah.
Desi. Maybe, I was gonna say Desi a little bit more over Michaela, but I think Michaela's more entertaining than
than Desi.
I would say
and
though,
Casey.
I would say I would have chosen Amber over Casey if you're gonna choose the flagship people, because at least Amber gave drama and entertainment.
Casey's come on, Sophie. That's a possibility. Wonder if Laura will throw next week's daily to throw Cara into elimination next week. We already know.
Of course.
Laura was on a break for a while. She was, but yeah.
She needs another one.
I would have preferred Chris Underwood over basically all of the guys in Era 4. Hopefully we see all three of them on the main season eventually. Let's see.
Chris was a good choice as well.
I think so too. I mean, I wouldn't have minded Desi on there for sure. I like Michaela. I do think that Michaela is much more entertaining than Desi and Casey. I will say that. I just feel like she goes against the grain. So I would have appreciated her in the house, but I feel like her back would have been against the wall in that era, unfortunately. Similar to Jenny. Maybe her and Jenny would have teamed up. Yeah. That would have been fun to see. But yeah, so let's continue speaking on Laurel, because she's also been the topic of conversation when it came to Wes going on Bananas podcast. Right?
Yes, so we can see that.
So for those that don't know, I'm sure y'all know, Wes is talking about Laurel's growth, and pretty much I believe like he undermined Laurel's abilities. I will say that. I understand we're not fans of Laurel right now, especially between All Stars 4 and season 40. But I think it's not fair to say that her height, her size is what makes her a good competitor, or seen as a good competitor.
I will say though, in a lot of the eliminations she's won, she's always gone up against these smaller girls, and you literally see her just doing this so easily. So I get what he's saying, where it's because she is tall. Let's not get that twisted. She's still a good athlete, don't get me wrong, but her height is her advantage. And he's saying if she was the same height as everybody else, he doesn't think she would be that great. I think a lot of the people will get rid of her more easily, because other than her height, what's her best asset? Because it's not her personality.
It's not her. It's never been her personality, but Laurel is well-rounded. She is a good competitor. She is smart. She's not bad at puzzles. Like, she is very smart. And I feel like she is strategic. Like, I feel like I can't agree with that. I'm sorry. Like, you're not about to undermine Laurel's capabilities just because we're not fond of her right now. Like, I understand personality-wise, emotionally, I think she's a little bit stunted. And I do think that maybe she's had too much time in front of the cameras, and that might be distorting what is really happening, reality, and I do feel
Or
like,
she
yes, like a break
still
is
hurt from
needed.
Nicole.
Who knows? There's a lot of things, like a lot of variables. But she's always been some sort of a villain, like it's always been like back and forth with her. Like, I want to root for her. She's a villain. She's annoying. She's loud. She's abrasive. She does this. But I'm sorry. I still think Laurel's a good competitor. I'm not gonna lie. Besides
look,
her,
she's good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna say that she is not one of the more gifted people on the challenge when it comes to ability. But I think, and I'll speak for everyone when I say, I think it's time to just take a break.
Yeah,
we've seen enough.
What's with the can't talk about anyone? Well, that's another thing too. And again, Wes has also changed his like character, right? When it comes to the challenge, now I feel like he's just giving us recited shit. Like I don't feel like the authenticity all the time coming from Wes either at this point. Like, yes, we've seen growth, but I'm like, Wes, you are also arrogant as hell still to this day. So like, really, you and Laurel are very similar.
He's gotten tolerable. Like, I like Wes now. Before, I hated Wes. But Wes grew up. Wes became an adult. Wes got married. Wes, like...
Right. He's evolved.
Not immature anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's what he was telling Bananas. Like, he told Bananas, like, you and I have both had, we were immature back in the day. Don't get me wrong. And I'm sure people hated us. But we've had our growth. And he was like, I have not seen that with her. So I can't disagree with him on that.
Right. Do we discredit CT because of his size? No. Why ain't Fessy champs? Zach is the only one. I get that too. And think about it like this. And look, I love Naya, right? I love Naya. But Naya is somebody who is in similar size to Laurel. And her size doesn't give her the crazy advantage. So why is it that we're gonna make that a point for Laurel? Like, I think Laurel is just a beast. Like, and I also like Wes. I wish he was on the season. Nehemiah would have had a better chance. Yeah, I do think too, like, he would have succeeded a lot more than he's doing right now, because he's in trouble. He's always gonna be thrown in. I feel like his relationships are not strong enough, but he's staying afloat better than I thought he would. I will say that. What else did we want to talk on? Well, yeah, Bananas was defending the hell out of Laurel because all of a sudden he's a Laurel stan, because I'm pretty sure we have each other.
Yeah.
Oh, so Tina and Naya arguing, guys. I was so upset. Not arguing, but like they were going back and forth. And I get it. Tina's probably watching this episode. She's feeling all the feels of how everything happened, and obviously seeing it in real time with us. Like, she has every right to react. But I do hate that like her and Naya were going back and forth on social media, because it does feel like they had like a good rapport with one another. And they did say like it's still all love between them, but it just felt like Tina was just like so upset with Naya. And I was like, okay, but like, Naya of all people, she has your back. Like, that she's cool with you. Like, she respects you. So like, why do this for everybody?
And she never said anything like disrespectful at all. Like, her reasoning has always been, Nehemiah is like my brother. I can't throw my brother. So
exactly. So I hate it had to be them. I said again, Vacation Alliance going unscathed. Like, what's happening? Why are we not whacking them? They deserve to be whacked. Y'all shouldn't be whacking each other. I'm over it, guys.
Yeah. Literally, people are arguing while they're going on vacations. Literally.
They're chilling. They're making plans. They got Olivia and Michelle wrapped around their fingers now too.
Which I hate.
It's sad, yo. I hate it. I hate it. Another thing that I wanted to touch on that I discussed briefly earlier was the fact that Brad went on Zach's podcast, and Brad had pretty much said that it took him like doing the interview to realize that Era One literally was not going in there with plans. Like, they were just trying to get through and do their best, whereas obviously the rest of the arrows were politicking much more. And it doesn't seem like Rachel, or it doesn't seem like anyone aside from Rachel really starts politicking until this episode. Like, we see a little bit, like Rachel's been peeping game for a minute. She's been peeping game for a minute. We see her make subtle comments here and there, but I think it wasn't until this episode that she noticed, like, okay, I have to do something because clearly my team is not doing enough. You have Derek, obviously, and Darrell saying, we need a break. We need a break. We're on crutches and all these things, and like put us in a bubble. And she's over here pissed. Like, why are you talking down about us? Like, we are fit.
Right. She was
we
like, you
capable.
Can't do that. I'm in the best shape of my life. So.
Right. Exactly. So yeah, how do you feel about that? Because obviously that's a huge difference between the OGs and the newer eras of the challenge. There's a lot more strategy going in.
I mean, look, I get what she's saying, but if that's their angle and how they want to play it with defending themselves, then you can't. If they weren't doing anything at all or not saying anything at all, like just throw me down, whatever, then I would be mad. But that's their angle. I get they are battered and bruised at this point. They're all hurting. It's not like they're lying. And maybe if people weren't so attached to other people, that angle could have helped them out. So I wasn't mad at it.
Yeah, me either. I wasn't like entirely mad, but at the same time, I'm just like they should have realized. I wish they would have taken the initiative to do more when they saw some other people. Like, once they saw that CT especially was vulnerable, I felt like they should have like amped that up. Like, I don't know. I just feel like they could have done more, and it was just a little too late at this point. I hope the format changes very soon. I want to see Rachel be able to thrive. I agree. I don't get Tina versus Naya every week after the episode airs. They do an IG live together. Exactly. I was like, what's happening? So why now? That beef should have been there the whole time. Like, it's just unfortunate. I do think that they obviously like talked behind the scenes and hit each other up, but I think Tina's just a person that's going to feel her emotions and let us in on it. She's gonna express herself no matter what. And unfortunately, Naya was on the receiving end of it this time. But Naya did speak highly of her and did hype her up and pretty much congratulate her, called her a beast, etc. So I think at the end of the day, they will work that out. But Tina's in her feelings, and I guess she just ultimately wanted them to weaken Era 2, like, which most of us wanted to as well. Basically. Yes. I do hope the format changes, as we said. We don't know what the final contains. Like, how is it formatted? We have no idea. The newer era was ready. The old era was trying to get back into the groove. Yup. Definitely. Some of them, it's been a minute since they've been back. Some of them have done all-stars. You think era 1 was the best in team format? That's all y'all did back then. Yeah.
This is true. I mean, well, honestly, I think Era 1 struggled the most because they didn't care to team up with the Vacation Alliance or try to need them. Yeah. They said I could do this on my own. And apparently everyone has to be buddy-buddy with them in order to...
I don't understand it. Like, far. It's so
I don't get it. I really don't.
I just feel like there's more of y'all than there are the Vacation Alliance. So like, but it's just all these wannabe Vacation Alliance members too.
Era 3 and Era 4, yeah. But I mean, Banana did say it's gonna be interesting because Era 3 and Era 4 are all buddy right now, and there's this huge alliance. But that's gonna definitely implode soon. And I think Corey is going to make that implode, as he should. Because there is
blow it up. Blow it up. They don't have your back. They do not have your back, Corey. Like, save yourself, because they're gonna be gunning for you. Yeah, I really don't understand that. I really wish more people would be against the Vacation Alliance. It's getting really frustrating seeing this. Honestly, I thought Josh formed a new Vacation Alliance after they finished filming the season. No. Well, with Theo and Naya, but who knows? They were probably just like on a vacation or something like that. I don't know. I just personally like it just sucks. And I think 39 showed us how refreshing it was to not see the vacation online on our TV screens. So it would be nice for them to not be on seasons like this. Like it's gonna be the
They could
same
all
thing.
take a break. They could take
All
a
of
break
them.
with Laurel. They could all go on a vacation together. How about that?
Yeah. Yeah, if it take too long to realize these things, then it's downhill for them for sure. Um, I didn't expect Era One to be so bad. They were good. They did good in team formats before. Yeah, well, they were just showing up. They literally were just trying to do their best, unfortunately, and not really doing anything else to protect themselves. But yeah, I'm looking forward to next episode. I'm ready for Corey to shake things up. You already know.
We did
I root for
see a
Corey
little
all the
clip
time.
of him and Derek K fighting.
Yeah, so we did see that.
So
Gonna
interesting
be
to see what that's
interesting.
about.
And I think a new fresh meat is needed. I think the same thing, Lauren. I actually think 41 might be that. I feel like 41 is giving like a fresh
But
meat season in a sense.
it's gonna be fresh meat with literally all these reality TV people.
And people
And
that
I
we
don't
don't
that's
know.
what they did already with multiple
Yeah.
seasons that we don't want.
Mm-hmm.
Like if anything, give us people that aren't on reality TV. I feel like they would come in more authentic, not people that have been
Mm-hmm.
on shows already.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Um 39 was no better, just Michelle and Jay as big. No, and I agree, definitely. But it felt refreshing because of the fact that we didn't see them. But yeah, it
It's
got
because
tired
she
real
didn't have to
quick.
see Tori. That's why.
Absolutely. And
Except for
Devin.
that one episode.
And Devin's ass. No, but and she annoyed me in that one episode too. I was like, oh my God, like you're so aggy. Look at you. Look at you snitching on Mariah. Oh, look at what you're doing to my boy Bananas. Like, please. Please. Like, oh. But I trust me, I still think 40 is the better season. I don't know what people are talking about in like the challenge
Who's
verse.
saying 39 is
Oh,
better?
on Twitter, they're going crazy saying that 39 was better. And I'm over here like,
Did they just
you're
are they
lying.
like younger people that just started watching?
No,
Because if
no,
that's the
like these are
case,
challenge fans. And I don't agree with that. I
no
personally
way
feel like
39 was better.
40 is way better. And they're
Way
at
better.
least like set to win more money because 39, they barely won any money.
40 is the best season they've had since 30. What was War of the Worlds 2?
33?
No,
No, 35 is Total Madness.
34. Yes.
Hey,
I think it's 34.
they blur right now. You
War
know,
of the
after
Worlds.
talking for,
That's,
but yes,
that's the
War
season
of the
that they
Worlds
had that
1
was
is
good.
basically Fresh Meat 3. Yes. And the audacity of Tori preaching about behaving while in a relationship. I know, exactly. That's why I was so pissed. The boo. I was like, why are you of all people saying anything? Thank you. Thank you. It was season 34. But yeah, y'all. So I needed to be individual format by, if not by 8, by episode 9. I need it. I'm over it. Too much
Something.
protecting. Shake it up. It's getting stale.
Or again, say that the teams are not binded by each other, like the two people that are nominated.
I agree. But
But
this
we'll
episode
see.
was a better episode than the last. I was much more entertained. Clearly, we had a lot more to yap about. And thank you guys for yapping back with us, you know, my certified yapper people. But yes, it's been a good season for me so far. I'm still getting people hooked on it. You know, Big Brother is gonna end soon, so hopefully more people start watching. Survivor is still in or not really in competition because Survivor, in terms of viewership, beats the hell out of the challenge. But I know some people have been watching that, so that's been taking time away from the challenge. But we still have a lot of episodes to go. At least 12. At least 12. So
More than that.
I don't know. We'll see how this season goes. But anything else y'all want to talk on, touch upon, write it down. Next episode is the last of this format. Derek is done. Impossible, not finished last. Ain't winning with that leg. Yeah, he's not winning with that leg. We knew that though. The injury's too bad.
Unfortunately.
But thank you guys so much for tuning in, holding it down with us. Lina, she will be back. She's still not back from vacation, but she will be back next week. So please make sure, for those that have been looking out for Lina, she will be back next week. So make sure to tune in with us. We're gonna try to get back to our Thursday schedule as we promised. Just thank you for being flexible with us. And before you go, make sure to hit that like button, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to follow us at Reality Unloaded Pod on Instagram and Reality Unloaded Podcast on TikTok. And yeah, just be on the lookout for more stuff. Please leave a comment. It helps so much with our engagement. It's been really fun talking to you guys. And again, we just hope to see you guys in the future. Hope y'all have a great Friday night. And stay safe, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Deuces.